3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
2024 marks 55 years since humans first set foot on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
By the end of the decade, NASA hopes to achieve even more through its Artemis program. In fall 2025, NASA aims to send 4 astronauts of the Artemis 2 mission around the moon and back. This will be the first crewed flight test of the Orion spacecraft. The Artemis 3 mission aims to return humans to the surface of the moon, using SpaceX's Starship as a commercial lander and new commercial spacesuits from Axiom Space. And Artemis 4 will introduce the Lunar Gateway, an international outpost for science and human habitation in orbit around the moon. But starting around the time of the Artemis 5 mission, currently aiming for March of 2030, NASA wants to offer more mobility on the moon. Their first way of doing that will be by using an unpressurized rover called a Lunar Terrain Vehicle. Think of a fancy ATV, but one that works best on the moon. And that's where Justin Cyrus comes in. He's the founder and CEO of a company called Lunar Outpost. It, along with Intuitive Machines and Venturi Astrolab, were selected by NASA to participate in a so-called feasibility phase task order. During a 12-month period, they will work alongside several commercial partners to develop their preliminary designs. They will then compete for a demonstration task order for their LTV design that will head to the moon with NASA's financial backing. We spoke with Cyrus about a month after the feasibility contract selection to learn more about his team's process and what they're hoping to accomplish.
When you look at LTV, Lunar Terrain Vehicle, it's a really unique program because you have astronauts driving on the lunar surface, which is awesome and extraordinarily exciting in and of itself. But then you're also looking at a majority of the time, it's actually not being utilized by NASA astronauts.
Cyrus is talking about one of NASA's requirements to win this contract. During the unveiling of the 3 competing companies, Laura Kearney, NASA's manager of the Extravehicular Activity and Human Surface Mobility Program, said the chosen company needs to be able to operate for at least 10 years on the moon's surface, both with and without astronauts present.
We have asked the companies to meet a 10-year operating life. We did not define how they needed to do that. I use polar examples just to prove a point. They could, for instance, come in and say, I'm going to deliver 1 rover, it's going to last 10 years, or I'm going to deliver 10 rovers that only last 1 year. And that way they have the trade space to say, maybe I can fly COTS, electronics, but I'm going to have to replace them once a year. Or I have to be extraordinarily robust because I'm going to last 10 years. Those are bounding cases. None of them proposed either of those. But we wanted to be able to give them, again, these high-level requirements, and then they could innovate on how they wanted to solve those problems.
Cyrus believes his team's vehicle, called Lunar Dawn, will be well equipped to survive for a decade on the moon at least.
I think it's next to impossible unless you test out technology on the lunar surface before you get the Lunar Terrain Vehicle there, because there are so many unknowns and variables about the environment, about how your seals wear, about dust buildup on your solar panels, on your sensors, how technology lasts in the lunar surface radiation environment over time, what the thermal temperatures are.
That experience will come from 4 other robotic missions Lunar Outpost already has scheduled to head to the moon. The first of those is called Lunar Voyage 1. It's a small rover that will launch as a payload on board Intuitive Machines' second Nova C lander, which Intuitive Machines named Athena.
What we are doing is, I think, the right way to do it. Build up the capabilities, build up your mobility, figure out what the environment looks like, so that way you can make sure that these systems are reliable and capable for long periods of time.
In addition to learning from its first 4 rover missions, Lunar Outpost also assembled a team of corporate partners to execute its LTV vision.
When we first saw the Lunar Terrain Vehicle RFI come out a couple of years ago, we're like, who would we want? And we're like, all right, we need a big American automotive manufacturer because they bring experience that we aren't going to have from the space industry. And ideally one that was previously involved with Apollo.
The mobility system, which must be able to cross 12-inch high obstacles and 28-inch diameter craters.
And so that really narrows down, right, who that was. So that's GM. That's
General Motors.
We're like, we need someone that is known for their safety, known for their reliability, and known for being able to provide systems that work. And that's Lockheed Martin. right? There's no one that has more experience on human spaceflight than Lockheed Martin. And so we're extraordinarily excited to have them on their team. And their record is phenomenal on safety and reliability. And then we needed a robotic arm. In terms of value and in terms of reliability and human experience, there was no one else that had the heritage that MDA Space did, which is the Canadian company that did the International Space Station robotic arm, but then also just that capability that would allow us to truly commercialize the Lunar Terrain Vehicle. So we were extraordinarily excited to bring MDA Space on board. And then Goodyear, they did a lot of work, right? They invested into this project and program because they wanted to be a part of it, and because this technology can truly be part of the future of tires here back on Earth. So having that investment, that large-scale investment from each of these organizations, having the unmatched technological capabilities, and then also having that reliability and safety is my quick pitch, and probably longer than you're looking for, but my quick pitch on why we're the right team.
One of the responsibilities of the companies vying for the LTV contract is to book a launch provider and also the capability of getting their LTV to the moon's surface.
Right now, I think the best heavy launch capability is Falcon Heavy. I think that's the most reliable. It puts the most mass up into orbit. It's flown, I think, over 6 times now, the specific loadout we're looking for from Falcon Heavy. So it's proven, it's a great solution, puts a lot of mass into orbit. So we are looking at that. We are also considering other launch options, but I think that's a pretty solid option.
One of Lunar Outpost's competitors, Astrolab, stated its intent to use SpaceX and its Starship rocket to land on the moon, similar to what will be happening during the Artemis 3 mission. Cyrus says SpaceX is certainly an option, but notes they already have a ringer on their team.
We have to remember, Lockheed Martin has landed more landers on other planetary bodies successfully than anyone else, than any other organization on Earth. It's not even close. So Lockheed has landed on quite a few different planetary bodies. They have quite a few spacecraft. They're a truly impressive organization when it comes to deep space exploration missions, but also human spaceflight. So we are making sure we properly evaluate their capabilities, because that's something we can't overlook. It just comes down to economics, reliability, and safety. And at the end of the day, I think we have a pretty cool path forward, and you'll definitely be the first to know once we kind of finalize that decision. But it's going to be fun.
The fine details of the Lunar Dawn vehicle remain close to the vest for now, but Cyrus says this next year of innovating is going to be exhilarating.
I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I would expect the other teams are also going to be making quite rapid progress, but everything I've seen so far from our team has been awesome. They're responding well. They're excited about the pressure. They're excited about the opportunity. And I think for us as a company, this is a very unique opportunity to contribute in a big way to the new cislunar economy. So for us, again, this is a childhood dream to provide mobility for astronauts on the moon. This is what I've wanted to do since I was a kid, but for our company as well. Each and every person in our company sees the opportunity that Lunar Terrain Vehicle provides for that large-scale new space economy.
Reporting for Spaceflight Now, I'm Will Robinson Smith.